What's going on, guys? It's Patrick here, and welcome back to another episode of the SmithSquad Podcast. This is episode 60, and we're joined by a pretty cool guest today. That is Doug Censor Martin. So welcome to the show, man.
I appreciate being on the show, man. How are you?
I'm great. So as you were just saying, this was a very spontaneous thing. I was streaming, and I was kind of ballparking guests to get on this week, and someone mentioned you, and I was like, he seems like a cool guy. He's into MLG scene, he's into YouTube, and he works out. So it seemed like a very cool dude. And I just sent a tweet over to you. You're like, yeah, I'm down. And like 40 minutes later, here we are doing a podcast.
Yeah, I literally just met you, and it's actually funny because I was about to get off of my desktop and just call it a night, and then I got all these tweets, go on the podcast, go on the podcast, go on the podcast. So here we are on the podcast getting this rolling.
Yeah, man. So yeah, thank you for coming on. So the first thing I kind of wanted to talk about, you have been in the MLG scene quite a bit.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, like, how did you get into it in the first place?
Okay, so I've been playing Call of Duty. I'm sure you play Call of Duty Zombies, right? If I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Yeah.
Have you been around for a long, long time?
I've been following like the gaming community probably since Modern Warfare 2.
Okay, I've been
So-
playing Call of Duty since Call of Duty 4. I'm 20 years old now. I started when I was 12. My friend got me into Call of Duty. Long story short, I played Call of Duty 4 every single day, 12 hours a day. I played World at War even more. And then once Modern Warfare 2 came around, I really wanted to go pro. I wanted to be a professional player. So I spent a lot of time, a lot of hours. I wasn't one of the best players. I was never considered one of the best players, but it never stopped me from wanting to be the best player I could be and to win championships, because the more people would tell me that I wasn't good enough, and the more people would tell me that I'm not a great player and that I can't win, instead of backing away and saying, you know what, let me just call it quits and focus on something else, I want to pursue this and I want to be able to prove these people wrong. So I started playing competitively in Modern Warfare 2, but it wasn't until Black Ops 1 until I really got heavily involved with the scene.
Okay. So I assume you've been in multiple, I guess, would it be, I'm not sure if it'd be called clans or MLG teams or whatever.
Yeah, I've been on a lot of good teams, a lot of top teams. I've been around the scene for a really long time. I know just about everything about it.
Yeah. Okay. So like, who did you start with?
Okay, so my first pro team was Next Threat. I
I
actually
guess
stayed
you
with
can
them.
just go through all the teams you've been with, honestly.
So it was Next Threat in Black Ops 1. We won the national championship. Then I joined Envious. After that, I went to Leverage, which was basically the Complexity, which was a dynasty in Black Ops 2.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was on Leverage. That wasn't Complexity though, because that wasn't it was a different sponsor, but they were called Leverage. And then when Black Ops 2 came around, I kind of quit for about 6 months, but then I came back for Call of Duty Ghosts. I was the captain of Strictly Business. We won the US Regionals. We beat Complexity. And then I joined Faze, and I've been on Faze ever since.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you missed out on Black Ops 2, man. That was, I would say, Black Ops 2. I mean, at least personally for me, that was definitely my favorite COD as a multiplayer. And I think Ghost was definitely my least. I feel, at least personally, I feel bad for you.
You're not alone in that one, man.
Yeah. You're not a fan of Ghost either, eh?
No, I enjoyed playing Ghost, but I know a lot of people like to give Ghost a lot of flack. They didn't like to, a lot of people said they didn't enjoy it, but everyone seemed to enjoy Black Ops 2 a lot more. So hopefully when Black Ops 3 comes around in a couple of months, everyone's going to come back to competitive Call of Duty, because right now it's kind of in a period of like transitioning. Like everyone's kind of stagnant and they're kind of bored of Advanced Warfare. So hopefully when Black Ops 3 comes out, the game's going to have a spark again.
Yeah. So what did Advanced Warfare do to that whole scene? Because it's such a different game now.
Right. I think, in the beginning of Advanced Warfare, it was actually really popular. Like, right when the game
I
first
bet,
came
yeah.
out, it was really popular. We played Optic Gaming in the first tournament, the first MLG tournament, and it had 250,000 concurrent stream viewers on MLG TV. So that's a huge, huge deal. Like, that broke a record. That's never been done before. And then, ever since that one tournament, the game changed a lot. Sledgehammer tried to do a good job of changing the weapons in the game and changing things around and adding DLC, but for whatever reason, after that first tournament, everything just went downhill. I think, I don't want to say, because it used to be 4 BALs, and now it's ASM ones and BALs and snipers, and there's a bigger variety now. It's just that people don't enjoy watching it, and I think it's the fact that you could double jump around the map so much. You could fly to one part of the map to the other part of the map in less than a few seconds, where everyone's used to traditional Call of Duty. So I think people got bored of the double jumping really quick.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that myself. I did not like Ghosts, but I was decent at Black Ops 2. And I find with Advanced Warfare, it is so much easier to die because there's always someone around you. Whereas with Black Ops 2 especially, I noticed like most of the maps are quite linear. There's like 3 different routes you can take for the most part. And with this game, it's like everywhere's like anywhere's there's going to be a guy anywhere's. And I mean, obviously I'm not like a professional or anything. I'm not crazy, but I've played a lot of COD. I've been playing since World at War myself. And I just find Advanced Warfare is like, there's always a guy behind me somewheres to kill me. And I don't know. I played it for about a month. I couldn't get into it myself. I think that kind of represents like what you said happened to the scene, the MLG, where there was a lot of hype around it at the start, and then everyone kind of got tired of it.
That's basically every Call of Duty. The problem with this one is, like you said, you could double jump, and I would consider you part of the casual audience just because that's what a lot of other people think. And the biggest problem with competitive Call of Duty is that they can't drag in that casual audience that Call of Duty has. It's such a dominant, huge, popular audience in the world. It's just that there's no way we haven't found a solution to bring those people into the competitive Call of Duty scene.
Right. Now, I found Black Ops 2 was the point where I enjoyed watching it the most. And I think part of that was because it seemed like Black Ops 2 had a lot more of the full game incorporated into the rules of what you guys were doing. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's something that the developers always talk about. They want to have the game to be as close to outside of the box or the first day of the box as possible so that the casual players can relate to it.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Because Black Ops 2, you got kill streaks and everything, and I found Ghost kind of was pretty cut and dry.
Well, yeah, there wasn't any good kill streaks in Ghost either. When Black Ops 2, you had the Hunter Killer Drone, the Lightning Strike.
True.
There's like so many cool, easy kill streaks to use that made the game a lot more fun to watch and play.
Gotcha, yeah. All right, so what was your favorite COD? Not for just like in general, like your personal preference. What was your favorite?
World at War, hands down.
Really?
World at War, yes.
That's awesome, man. That is my favorite COD as well.
Was that your first Call of Duty?
Yeah, it was. I started I think 2 months after World at War came out. So back then, for people who may not have played, COD 4 was still a huge game. Although it wasn't the current COD, I would say there was almost as many people still playing COD 4 as there was playing World at War, just because COD 4 was the start of it all. People loved COD 4. So I got into zombies. That was like,
dude, World at War Zombies was the best.
Right, though.
Dude,
yeah.
That was the best game for zombies. Best game.
Yeah, that's what got me into Call of Duty was the zombies. And anyways, I later ended up like getting out of zombies, and I got back into it for my channel. But World at War multiplayer, man, that was my favorite. Oh my god, that's awesome that you like that too.
If they remastered World at War and brought it back, I'd buy it.
Definitely. Modern Warfare 2 for me was a game of highs and lows, and although I liked it, and I'm sure you probably liked it because I bet you were really good at it. For me, I was at the point where some games I'd pull like a chopper gunner and then just, rain death, but most games not. So when things went well for me, I really liked it, but that game had a lot of bugs is how I felt.
Yeah, I think Modern Warfare 2 probably had the best kill streaks out of any Call of Duty. So if you were to, and this also relates back to what you were saying with Advanced Warfare, how you could get shot from anywhere. In every other Call of Duty, especially Modern Warfare 2, you could take out an ACR with red dot and just post up behind a head glitch and pre-aim in front of you, get a 7 kill streak, and then before you know it, you have a tactical nuke. So that's what most people like about Call of Duty, is that you could just post up and get kills. So I think with Advanced Warfare, you can't do that as much, and I think that's why people don't like to play it as much either.
Yeah, that is one thing, is when I play that game, I go into it knowing I am definitely not going to get a big kill streak with that.
And I think that's the biggest problem Call of Duty had in the past couple of titles. Like with Advanced Warfare, with Call of Duty Ghosts, there hasn't really been fun kill streaks to use. You know what I mean?
No.
Like the game is still similar. There's still the gun. The movement's really similar. Even with Advanced Warfare, the double jumping, like the movement is very similar, besides for the fact that you could double jump. But the fact that there isn't any fun kill streaks to use just takes away from a huge part of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, I think what they did in Advanced Warfare, how they had customizable kill streaks, was kind of cool, but it doesn't feel like there's enough kill streaks.
No, I agree with you.
Right? Yeah, it's like, okay, I can, like, there's this one kill streak that could be 2 or 3 different things, but it's still the same kill streak. And at the end of the day, like you said, we all missed that chopper gunner, that AC-130, because there was no better feeling, I don't think, in COD than getting that, getting the nuke, and then just going from there.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, I guess moving on, I kind of want to talk a little bit more about MLG. What's that like? And I know that's a really vague question. So I guess I'll probably start with, like, what was, because I guess you're not doing it now. What was, like, what's a day in the a life like with that?
It's either extremely good or it's extremely bad. I'll give you the side. There's a lot of sides of this. So,
Okay.
there's
Yeah,
kids
absolutely. Go
who
ahead with
there's
it.
kids who follow competitive Call of Duty. There's a lot of people who are fan of competitive Call of Duty, and they have this dream in their head that if I'm gonna be a pro player, I get to travel around the country, I get to play in tournaments, I get to make money at these tournaments. People are gonna watch me play. This is my dream. I want to play on the main stage and I want to win, and that's great and it's awesome. And when you do win, it's one of the best feelings. But when you're playing and your team isn't on the same page as you, or if your team isn't a winning team, it can get stressful really quick. It consumes your life. You play a lot, and especially in this day and age when there's a pro league, people are playing more than they ever did in the past. Like back then, for me, it was more of a hobby, and now it's more of a job. I don't go to
Right.
college anymore. I stopped going to school to pursue this, but being a pro player is not a lucrative thing. You got to be very lucky. It's very up and down. If you win a big tournament like COD Champs, then you just made $100,000, which is great money. But it's not at the point where it's consistent. There isn't enough money for every pro player to be able to rely on that as
Right.
an income. So that's the problem. And now, with Call of Duty and the way it's going, you need to be 18 and older for everything. So everyone who plays and everyone who's on a good team isn't going to be in high school. They either have to be in college and be going to college and also playing, or they're not going to college at all and they're relying on tournament winnings to have an income. So when I was growing up and I was playing competitive Call of Duty when I was 16, 17, and 18, I was in high school. I would go home from school, at the end of the day. I'd skip doing my homework because I didn't care about it. I'd get on and I want to play GBs with my team, and it was so much fun. It was a great time, but now it's more stress. There's not as much money as you would think there is in it. And unless if you're on Optic Gaming or unless if you're winning the tournament, you're not really going to be making that much money. And when you get to the point where you're not in college to do this, or if you're not in high school and you got to, find a way to have an income, you just put in so much time to this and you're not getting the same reward in return. So
Gotcha.
that's
Yeah.
what it feels like to be a pro player. But when you do win a tournament, you're going to remember that for the rest of your life. Like winning is one of the best feelings, but it's very hard to come by that.
Yeah, I bet. So yeah, I guess it's kind of at the point now where if you're on top, you can make a great income off it, but there's not a lot of room for people to be on top. There's not a huge group of that people. Is that right?
No, there's not. The only players that are really making good money is Optic Gaming. And as much as I want to say the players on Faze, and I support Faze, they just won a tournament at Dallas. They made $5,000 each, which is great. It's not a consistent income. I know all those players are doing great, but in general, you want to make a lot of money off of your live stream, and you also want to be doing YouTube. And a lot of pro players don't do YouTube, and for the people that do, they don't seem to have success. They don't seem to have the growth. So it's either they got to do that, or the developers like Activision have to come in and add more to the prize pool, add more variety, like make the tournaments more worthwhile for the players to play in. But right now, it's not in a good stage.
What's with I know there's like the $1 million whatever. I like I
Yeah, it's
said,
Call of Duty Championships.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not really $1 million. Can you explain that? Because I forget how that works.
Well, it's $1 million prize pool, so first place brings home
Oh, prize
400,000,
pool.
so
Okay,
on and
yeah,
so
yeah,
forth,
yeah.
down to eighth place. So the top eight get paid.
Okay, got you. Okay, so yeah, that's an interesting point that you bring up, because I see some YouTubers or some pro players get YouTube channels, and I mean, you're someone who's been able to break into it, and I was just looking at your channel, like you are killing it right now. But I think a lot of people kind of, if you're into that scene, they get so into it, and it's all about their game. But the thing with YouTube is gameplay, like at this day and age, does not matter. It does not correlate into YouTube. It's all about the personality. So
Exactly.
it's
Yep.
interesting to see the people who are getting successful off their personality with their YouTube channel. And it's cool that, I think it's really cool that you're doing that too.
Yeah, I'm in a really good spot, and I'm really appreciative for especially what FaZe has done for me. It's hard to get into YouTube if you don't have a good org behind you. I haven't seen one pro player in the history of Call of Duty grow a big YouTube channel without being on Faze or Optic. If you're not on Faze or Optic and you're not doing YouTube, it's extremely hard. And I'm not saying it's impossible because I believe anything's possible. I think anyone in the world could achieve their dreams and their goals if they really want to do it. But even for me, when I joined Faze and I was playing as a pro player, they all told me to do YouTube. Like, Doug, you got to get into YouTube. You got to get into YouTube. 5 months after I was on the team, I finally got into it, and I uploaded every single day for like 4 months, and I didn't really grow that fast. I tried so many different things. I started to get desperate. I was trying so hard to get subscribers, to get views, and then finally something went right for me. We won a big tournament, and the channel started to grow, but it's just very difficult for people to have success in this field.
That's really interesting. So you were trying it, and then success in the MLG scene led to success in your YouTube channel. So basically people said, this guy won a tournament. This guy's cool. I want to see what this guy's doing. Is that how that worked?
Yeah, that definitely helps. But I think you need more than that. I think you also need to be around people who have a bigger following. It's very hard to build a following from the ground up all by yourself. You always need people to help you.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, because I see a lot of, I mean, I can only think of like Scumpy as a YouTuber from Optic, but I can think of multiple guys off of Faze. Like, I know there's you, off the top of my head, I think Jev, is that one?
Yeah, there's actually a good amount of people in Faze that are doing really well. I think most of the people in Faze are doing extremely well right now, actually.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of Faze YouTubers right now. I think that's pretty cool in and of itself. Another question I had for you is, can you talk about the Faze house? Because I'm really interested into that.
Yeah, I mean, they got the house last November. That's when they moved in. I was actually there when they got there the first day. I literally walked in the house 2 hours after they did because they're like, yo, Doug, can you come over? And I don't know what they needed me to help them with, but they're like, hey, can you come over for a second and like check out the house or something like that? And this is like right before Advanced Warfare dropped.
Gotcha.
The house, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Every day, people are really productive in the house. The reason the house is there is to bring Faze closer to the Gfuel offices, because Gfuel obviously funds the house. And
Gfuel's in New York.
And Gfuel's in New York. And I actually live 10 minutes from the house and like 10 minutes from the Gfuel offices, so it's crazy how lucky and fortunate I am to be in that spot.
I'm so jealous, man. I live on the eastern coast of Canada, so I am just away from like everything.
What part of Canada do you live in?
Nova Scotia.
I've never heard. Actually, I've heard of it before. Okay.
Yeah, most people haven't. If you live northern east coast, like northeast America, there's like, it's usually like a 50-50 shot. I find people from Boston tend to, but if you go any more south than that, it's like a very, very small province. But yeah, like, I think as far as I know, I'm like the only person in YouTube that lives around here. So like, I don't know anyone. I haven't met up with anyone before. I've only ever been to one event, which was PAX East in Boston this year. That was my first. I'm heading to California next Wednesday, actually. But for the most part, it's like, I'm so jealous of you guys out there, because having that ability is so awesome. To meet with people and talk with like-minded people is honestly, whether it be for YouTube or anything you're trying to do, like-minded people are very, very crucial for just really achieving anything, I think.
It's the best way to learn.
Yeah, exactly. And you can share ideas, grow off each other, even if it's like a thing with YouTube, and just seeing other people want to succeed makes you want to succeed.
Yes, I can agree with you on that.
Yeah, when I went to PAX East back in March, I saw a bunch of huge YouTubers like Vanoss Gaming, Syndicates, those two biggest that come off to my top of my head. But just seeing them and seeing them doing their thing, even that alone is huge. It's like, this guy's doing this like full-time, real life. That is what I want to do. I want to be like this guy. And
it inspires you to work harder.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's why I'm so interested in this Faze house, because I would love to do this with a couple YouTubers. Is just, I don't know, maybe like for a summer or something. I've been thinking about this with a couple of guys I know, of like just renting a house for a couple months and just living together, because we're going to bounce ideas off each other. We're going to grow together. And I think it would be an awesome experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what the Faze house is. One of my closest friends is Blaziken. I don't know if you know who Faze Blaziken is.
Yep.
Yeah, he's on the come up as well. I met him back at X Games for the first time. We've always got along really well. We always clicked. And him and I make a lot of great videos together. You know, whenever I have a question, I always come to him and I ask him. He has a very smart mind. Like, I've learned so much off of this one guy. It's insane. And everyone in the house, really. Like, Banks has helped me a lot in the past as far as being on the pro team. If I've had advice, he would come to me. You know, I would ask everyone, you know, Rain, Banks, Blaziken, even Tommy, Adapt, you know, Tico. There's so many guys that are there that are always ready to help you. So it's really important to surround yourself with people that are going to make you better. And going to the Faze house does just exactly that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so this is a question that I feel like my fans would just hate me if I never ask this. So I'm sure you're familiar with like the MLG sort of memes and jokes on the internet. Have you seen those at all?
Which one?
So not like a specific meme, but there's just like a type of video. It'll like incorporate like, all right. So if I Google MLG meme right now, here I'll link it to you. Just like here. Oh, wrong link. All right. Slow part in the show. All right. So to describe it to people, there, I just sent it over. It's kind of like this really weird MLG Doritos.
I don't know what that's about. I honestly don't.
Okay, have you
I've
heard
seen
of it at
that.
all?
Yeah, I've seen this one, but I don't understand like what's the point of this. What are those sunglasses? What does that even mean?
So the sunglasses are called Deal With It sunglasses. And like I said, I don't really even understand this. I kind of like dabble and kind of incorporate it into some of my videos because people really like it. But it is, I swear to God, it's the most weird thing.
It's so random
on the internet. Yeah. And like Faze is one of the things incorporated into this. Like not Optic, not any other thing, but for some reason Faze is one of the names that gets popped in with Mountain Dew, Doritos, weed, Snoop Dogg. Oh my God, there's like the Doge meme, the Intervention's a big one on there. It's Shrek. There's just like, it's just such a collaboration of the internet. And yeah, I don't know what it is, but I figure people would be mad at me if I didn't at least mention it.
Dude, honestly, I don't know what it is either. I can't tell you. I don't know.
So, yeah, so have you ever like talked about this with anyone else in Faze or anything like that?
No, it's never been brought up before, actually.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing.
That is weird, dude. Maybe because I know people say, oh, you know what it I know what it is, dude. Okay, I'm looking at this now. You know how people say 420 blaze it, 720 phase it? Because 720, you like no scope, you do like a 720 in Call of Duty. So the guy's smoking a joint, and then you see the sniper rifle right over there to the right. So if he's smoking the joint, he's 420 blazing it, and then he's going to 720 phase no scope it, because Faze is known for their trick shotters and the no scopers. I'm a genius, dude.
Dude, you actually like that hardcore. That's awesome.
Yeah, it makes... Well, if I had to take a guess, if it was a life or death guess, I would definitely say that. It makes the most sense.
I feel like it's probably part of that and just part of the internet being so random.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay. Another part of it is Gfuel. So what is your favorite flavor of Gfuel? Because I know you're...
I'm drinking it right now.
Green apple,
yes.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't had green apple yet. I just got sponsored with them probably a month ago, and they send me every flavor, and I'm slowly working my way through them. You say green apple. That's really interesting.
Drink it and tell me what you think of it.
I will do that. I can't do that right now because I don't have any more water with me. Oh, you know what?
I was going to say, get some water and do it right now on the podcast. But
I will do this right now.
You will? Right. Okay, good.
Yeah. I'm actually, I had to do this just because you're on this, but I was drinking Faze Berry. All right. I got it. I'm pouring it into a cup. This is going to be a really gross mix because there's no stir, and I don't have a shaker cup, but stirring it with my finger.
Damn, you're dedicated, dude.
Hey man, anything for the podcast.
It's like I don't want to ruin it. It
smells really good.
Yeah, I'll just let you taste it. I'll let you rock, man. I'm not gonna ruin it. I'm not gonna put anything in your head before you drink it. Just do your thing, shake it up, and let me know what you think of it. I want your honest opinion because this is really my favorite flavor.
Like I'm not a big fan of green apple stuff.
Okay, well, there's there's like what 10 or 11 G Fuel flavors, and obviously all
There's
of them
11
taste
now, yeah.
okay. They all taste good, and obviously there's not one flavor where I said this flavor tastes disgusting, but if there's one flavor that I'd have to drink for the rest of my life, I would say it's green apple.
Really? All
Yes.
right. I got it mixed up. There you go. Let's try this.
What do you think?
That is pretty good. Like I said, I'm not a fan of green apple. It's not really my flavor, but I definitely see why you like that.
Okay, cool.
That is the thing, though. You put it perfectly. Like some flavors of G Fuel I like more than others, but for the most part, they're all really, really good.
Exactly. I agree with you. Yeah.
The only flavor I'm a little like blue ice and fruit punch, they're a little questionable for me.
Fruit
But then I'll
punch?
try it and I'll be like, all right, this is pretty good.
I like
still.
the fruit punch one.
You like fruit punch?
Yeah.
All
That's
right,
probably
so
my top 3.
it's fruit punch, green apple, and which? Blue ice?
Probably Fazeberry or watermelon.
Okay, yeah, Faze berry is good. All right, now serious question. Have you tried mixing mystery with blood orange yet?
Yes, I did. It tastes like an orange creamsicle.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I've just been mixing those two every day.
There's actually a flavor that not too many people know about, but it's probably the best flavor in general. If you mix
Okay.
3 different flavors, if you take watermelon, Fazeberry, and I think peach mango or fruit punch, it tastes like
Really?
Skittles. Yeah, it tastes like Skittles. I
Oh
know
my God, I
it's-
have to write this down.
it's definitely Fazeberry and watermelon. I don't know what the third one is though.
All right.
Pink lemonade. That's what it is.
Ah, no, that's the only kind I don't have right now.
Dude, you gotta try that when you get it. Ask G Fuel to send you a pink lemonade tub. Put a third of pink lemonade, a third of Fazeberry, and then a third of watermelon, and shake it all up. It literally tastes like Skittles.
All right, Fazeberry, pink lemonade, and watermelon.
Yes. Write it down.
Damn, that is legit, man. They have a lot of things like that. I know you can mix blue ice with fruit punch. It tastes like a snow cone. I think blue ice and pink lemonade tastes like cotton candy.
Yeah, that makes sense. I never had it before, but I could imagine that being
Yeah,
true.
and then mystery flavor also mixes with Fazeberry, and I've been told it tastes like Nerds. I don't know if I'd agree with that, but it tastes really good. I had that actually today. So this is so funny. When I got sponsored by G Fuel, what I did is I made this video where people called me a sellout, and I just like took a couple screenshots of it, like the very few haters or whatever, and like I did a video like super sad music, and I read their messages like really sad,
Okay, yeah, I could imagine that. Yeah.
and I had like black and white, like my face was black and white as I was doing it. I was like, look guys, sold out, really disappointed, I disappointed you guys, and I'm so sorry. Like I just I want to give back to you guys because I feel like I deceived you.
Yeah.
And then I turn around and I'm like, with G Fuel coupon code Smith40.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now what's happened is sellout has become a thing that like my subscribers do. So every time I mention G Fuel, they go sellout, and it's like this thing that they love to say like in a loving way.
It's like a joking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
this huge like inside joke of my channel. The problem with it is probably only half of them know about it, and the other half think people are legitimately calling a sellout. And I've had people make videos about it, like, oh, Patrick's not a sellout. He's
That
just
could be a problem.
yeah. It's a really weird thing. I mean, part of it's good because people are talking about sellout, then they're like sellout about what? Then it's G Fuel. Oh, what's G Fuel? Oh, coupon code Smith. Go use that. But at the same time, yeah, it is. It's like having to explain it to everyone has been very, very weird.
I mean, that's a tricky situation, but at the end of the day, all publicity is good publicity.
Exactly. That's the way I see it. Man, I gotta
As
be
long
honest.
as long as you carry yourself in the right way, even if people are going to call you a sellout, and if people are going to question if you're a seller or not, if you're going to carry yourself in the right way and they really care enough to look more into it, and they see how genuine of a person you are, they're not going to think you're a sellout. So that's
Yeah.
how I see it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just gonna say, man, I do enjoy this green apple. It's pretty good.
Yeah, dude.
It's kind of growing for me. Anyways, so let's kind of shift gears here a little bit. Actually, you mentioned you dropped out of college.
Yes, I did.
Can you talk about that? Because I'm kind of at a crossroads here with that, and I like talking to people about this.
Well, when I was a senior in high school, like I said, I won the Black Ops 1 national championship. It was $50,000 for the team, $12,500 per person. So when I won that tournament, I decided to quit playing competitive Call of Duty and focus all my time and effort into college. My goal was to be a D1 football player and go to the NFL. After going to college for a year and a half, I stopped playing Call of Duty. This is when Black Ops 2 came around. I saw the pro scene start to explode. And then I said to myself, I'm wasting my time at college. I'm getting good grades, but I didn't get into the school I wanted to. I'm losing money. I'm just spending money on tuition. I'm working a part-time job at LA Fitness, working at the front desk in the gym. But every 2 weeks, I get $250, and then I go down to $20 in my bank account. I wasn't making money, and I understood I was a college student, but I saw an opportunity with being a gamer. I saw the opportunity of being a pro player. I thought I could win the Call of Duty championships, bring home $100,000, and worst case scenario, I'll take the money I won from COD champs and go back to college. So that way I could pay for the rest of my tuition without taking out loans. So I dropped out after a year and a half. I spent the most time I could to be the best player I could be. I built the team from the scratch up, and we took home fourth at the World Championships. I made $25,000, and that's when I got the opportunity to join Faze. And it was a huge risk, but then I realize now, looking back at all of this, dropping out of college to be a pro player was not a good idea. But the fact that I was able to win as a pro player and then have the opportunity to be on Faze and be around some great people that have helped me kickstart a YouTube channel, that changed my life. It was the best thing that's happened in my life. Banks, Temper, Adapt, Apex, Jev, Rain, Blaziken, all those dudes have helped me so much, and not going to school and doing this as a job, it just shows me that you can make a job and a career out of doing anything you love as long as you make yourself good enough at it. So
Preach it, man. Yeah, absolutely.
as long as you're consistent with your work ethic, you can't fail. No matter what you do in your life, if you're consistent and you work hard, you can't fail. And that goes for going to school too. I'm not against going to school. It's just that I just felt that I was wasting my time in college, and I felt that it was good for me to play video games because I knew I was good at it, and I knew I had a good chance of doing something with it. So it was a risk, and I was really lucky for it to pay off for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so you took a pretty big risk because you weren't sure if it was gonna pay off at the time.
If I didn't do well at the Call of Duty World Championship, then it would have been a huge disappointment.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. See, that really stands out to me because I'm at a point with my YouTube channel where things are really starting to take off in a way that I was not expecting, and it's off a 3-year-old game, Black Ops 2 Zombies, and we have Black Ops 3 Zombies coming out. And
So you upload that every single day? Some sort of a Black Ops 2 zombie video?
yeah, man, zombies every day except for this Friday, which will be the podcast.
So then, dude, you're fine. I mean, with Black Ops 3 coming out, there's going to be a new thing of zombies. I'm sure there's going to be other YouTubers doing it, but if you're able to support your passion, you're able to make enough money that you could support what you do and then save some money, or I don't know your situation, but if you're able to support yourself and you could still do what you love, do it as best of your ability as you can, because you only get one opportunity to do what you want to do. So make sure you just do it the best you can, and you're going to be fine.
See, that's what I mean, man. Like, as you put it, there's nothing wrong with going to university, but you go to university to get a better opportunity for something else. You get a degree, which will maybe give you a better job. And I've had a lot of I shouldn't say oppression, but resistance from doing this. And I'm kind of at the point now where I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna see how things go with Black Ops 3, and if it does how I expect it to do, it probably gonna happen. But there's so much resistance from people because university is people look at it almost as the be all to end all. You have to go to high school and get good grades so you can get to university so you can get a good paying job. So then whatever, that kind of stereotypical life path. And that's what everyone tells me. And it's like, yes, but look at me right now. Like, I'm doing what I want, getting the money for it. And it's just at the point where for the first time, I never even thought about it because I had been so, like a huge subscriber of go to university, do this. And I'm at the point now where it's kind of just hit me like, this could be a thing. And I think how I'm kind of looking at it is, at this point, I definitely eventually want to get a degree, but YouTube is not going to last forever. And I accept that. But I feel like I would be stupid to not take advantage of it the time that it's a thing.
I mean, as you were saying all of that, I looked into your channel. You pulled in 13.5 million views, and I don't want to get too much into views and analytics and money,
But
but
yeah,
if you have 13 million views in your channel and your channel went up 97% in subscribers and 53% in your views in the last 30 days, like I said, I'm not going to get too involved with analytics, but if you're doing well and you have like a huge amount of traction on you, you should take advantage of the opportunity as best as you can. Ride out the wave as long as you possibly can.
that's what I mean, man. And right now it's a big thing of, I mean, I'm an adult. I can literally do whatever I want. I could move to Turkey tomorrow and, I can do whatever I want. But at this point, it's kind of a thing of getting my parents on board with it because, like I said, I can do whatever I want, but it's nice knowing your parents support what you're doing, if that makes sense.
Right. I mean, when I dropped out of going to school, my mom didn't really disagree with me. She knew I was a kid that was gonna work my hardest in whatever I did, but the person who was mostly against it was my aunt. And I look at my aunt as one of my biggest mentors in my life. She went to a 4-year university. She got a really good paying job through getting a degree. And same with my uncle. Both of them went to the same school, and they were very against it. I said, I'm not going to school to play video games. And they were going, crazy about it. They're like, what do you think you're doing? But I took the negative energy that they were giving to me, and I turned that into a motivation to push my career and my success further. I looked at it and said, okay, you don't think I could do this? You don't think this is a smart idea? I'll show you why it's a smart idea. And I think the biggest thing when it comes to parenting and parents, they want you to be able to have a comfortable living. So if you could show them that you can do that through whatever your passion is, I think they'll be okay with it.
Yeah, yeah. And at this point, like I said, I think I'm gonna go back for this semester, see how things go, and then from there, kind of make the decision. Because the other thing is, it's getting to the point where I'm probably going to be flying a lot more. And last year at school, I only made one trip out to Boston. That was just for the weekend. That wasn't a big deal, and I only missed one day of class. But at this point, it's like Black Ops 3 comes out. I might be going to California for that. I'm going to be going to PAX again. And then for DLC, Treyarch or Activision often fly people out for that. So it's like getting to the point where not only would I be kind of wasting my, well, I don't want to say wasting my time, but not putting my best effort into YouTube, but also not allowing me to fly places that I need to go as well. And I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's just, it's, yeah.
Listen, man, life is all about taking risks and just doing whatever your gut tells you to do, and just following whatever you want to do to the best you possibly can, and everything's going to work itself out at the end of the day. Whether you want to go to university, whether you want to just full-time do YouTube and upload 5 videos a day, whether you want to travel the world, everything's going to fall into place as long as you have the right mindset, you have a good work ethic. That's what I firmly believe. It will happen for anyone as long as you work hard.
I'm a huge subscriber of that idea, man. People ask me, hey, how do I get big on YouTube? I say, well, I'm going to I look at your YouTube channel. You've uploaded 2 videos in the last month.
You'll never
That's
get
not
big
how
doing
you get
that.
successful.
No.
Seriously, I tell people, like, upload every day. And if you're doing a type of video that doesn't allow you to upload every day, at least upload as much as possible consistently and work at your channel every day. So if you're not uploading a video every day, at least be interacting with your subscribers and doing all that. And I don't know everyone I know that is successful on YouTube is successful because of their persistence. They grinded at it for years. I mean, me, I did like this for 2 years straight, and I think I got about 30,000 subscribers. So a good following, but not something you can do your life on. And all of a sudden, last summer, my channel just started blowing up, and it's just kind of been continuing on like that. And people think, oh, this is going to come to me right away, but you have to be grinding at it. It takes years. So that's it, man. I totally agree with you. Just it's about the hard work.
Yeah, for some people, it takes years. Some people it takes a day. Some people blow up overnight.
It's true,
you never
man.
know, but you also got to be able to value your time. The biggest fear that I had being a YouTuber in the beginning was I wasn't seeing growth for a few months, and it was okay because I felt like my time wasn't up, because I have like this idea in my head that I only have a certain amount of time where I could be playing video games and being able to build an audience where it's like, okay, is this going to be worth it for my future or not? So my biggest fear was that if I was going to do this every day and spend a lot of time on it, if the traction that I wanted to build on my channel wasn't going to correlate to my time, then I didn't want to be wasting my time. I didn't want to spend a year, 2 years, 3 years to grow a YouTube channel and only have 75,000 subscribers after 3 years. Because although that's a lot of people, it's not enough to build. It's not enough to build a career on it. You know, it's not enough to make a lot of money to support yourself. So that was my biggest fear getting into this, and I think a lot of other people think the same way too. But you kind of just got to take the risk and go with it. If you really want to commit to it, then you just got to commit to it and just do it.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So you're at the point now where your channel is doing really, really well. Like I said, I was looking at your analytics a bit, and what is the plan for you?
Well, I mean, I made a video today talking about how I miss competitive Call of Duty. My roots has always been a competitive Call of Duty pro player, and then if you want to go further in depth with it, being on Faze Clan, being associated with Faze Clan. That's how I got my start. Right now, my channel is doing better than it's ever done before. In by and large from a few things, but right now I'm just really focusing on building my channel every day. I do daily vlogs. For the past 2 weeks, I started doing daily vlogs every single day. People really seem to enjoy them, so I just try to interact as much as I can with my following, show them the way that I live my life and my outlook on life. I try to inspire kids to stay in shape and to be the best person they could be. And if they want to be a pro player, because that's what I was and what I still am, that's great. If you want to play video games all day, that's great. I just try to tell people that whatever you want to do in your life, it's possible, and just work hard. I really want to be an actor one day. I really want to grow my YouTube channel enough to the point, and I want to be able to practice on camera enough to the point where I develop a good acting career and I have an opportunity to act, and I want to have 1 million subscribers. That's one goal. Get 1 million subscribers, and then
right there with you, brother.
Get that
right
gold, get that giant gold plaque. That is something that I envision every day. I look at my silver plaque above my setup. I'm looking at it right now, and I was so ecstatic when it came in. I said, dude, getting 100,000 subscribers was very tough. Doing that times 10 and get 1 million, it's extremely tough. I want to get that. Like, I love something
tough.
That's hard.
It is tough, but it's not, because the first 100,000 are the hardest 100,000.
Yeah.
You got to remember that, right? The first 1,000 subscribers is the hardest. Then you get traction. You go on and on and on.
Yeah, once you start building momentum. Do you know who Pomage is?
Yeah.
I remember talking to Pomage back in November, back when I had like 50,000 subscribers, and I asked him, dude, like, you have like 1.5 million subscribers. Like, what do you do? Like, I didn't want to know every little thing. I just want to know like his general opinion on how you grow the YouTube channel. He said, once you get the momentum, you just got to keep rolling with it. Now, I see the momentum, and I'm like, all right, as long as I just stay consistent with my work ethic and I keep on innovating ideas, I will get to my goal. I will achieve it. So, that's the short-term goal. Get 1 million subscribers, keep doing what I'm doing, and then eventually I want to be, when Marvel gets rid of all the Avengers and Captain America, Chris Evans, who plays it, is gone, I want to be replacing him as Captain America. Because I know he was on the poster for Call of Duty Online in China. He was like, you know how Call of Duty has like a soldier on the front? Like, he was a real life soldier. And I'm like, dude, I play Call of Duty my whole life. I love Call of Duty. I want to be able to build a huge following and tell people to, pursue their dreams, live the best life they can, and work really hard, get in shape, stay in shape, play video games, and I want to be able to do that to a point where I could be that guy on the Call of Duty poster. I could be starring in huge movies. I could, learn how to act, go through all that stuff. Like, that is my end goal. I want to be doing exactly what Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, does. Like, that is my ultimate idol, inspiration. I'm a biggest fanboy of him, so that's what I want to be doing.
Yeah, man, The Rock is powerful. I am super motivated by him as well. But that's another thing I want to talk about is fitness, because actually, like, this is how this whole started. I was Twitch streaming. I was talking about my workout routine, and someone said, you should get Faze Censor on the podcast, or Doug here, because he's a big guy into working out. And I was like, I think I know who that is, because people who, to me, like, someone who is successful at one thing is interesting. But someone who is successful at multiple things really catches my attention. And that's something that I see with you. You're in amazing shape. You also have this YouTube channel going on. You're also have been in the MLG scene. Like, where do I even start with fitness? I guess, when did you start, like, getting into that?
I actually remember the date by heart. I don't know. It sounds kind of lame, but I started February 15th of 2012. As I told you before, winning that national championship was the kickstart for it. I took the $12,500, put it towards school, but Before I quit, before I stopped playing, I was actually on a team called Envious in Modern Warfare 3, like right before Black Ops 2 came out. And Envious has a house in North Carolina, and one of the people that was at the house is this guy named Foreplay. His name's Skylar Johnson. He used to play for Envious. He's a founder of Envious, so he lived in the house at the time. And I always remembered growing up when I was 15 years old. When I was 16 years old, I joined the sophomore JV football team, and I was the skinniest kid on the team. There were some guys who had some muscle, muscle tone, and they were able to bench 135 pounds, like it's one plate on each side. I couldn't do that. I was so skinny, I was so frail. No matter how hard I'd push somebody, they would always push me back harder. And I always said to myself, I want to be able to fill the sleeves of my shirts. I want to be able to gain muscle and have a great body, but I wasn't willing to put in the work. I always wanted to put more time into playing Call of Duty. But once I went out to this house when I was on the team, I went out for a workout with Foreplay. And ever since that day, whatever it was in my body that clicked, it just clicked in my head that I need to go work out every day. I just made the conscious decision that I'm going to work out every single day. I'm going to get the best physique I could get. And then once I got home, I just got a gym membership at the gym. And every single day from then, I started working out. Just made it into a routine. I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it to the best I can. Just like with YouTube. When I started working out, making YouTube videos, I said I'm going to make a video every single day. And I just think it's really important, whatever you want to do to be successful in your life, you need to do it every single day. You need to work at it every single day. You have to believe it every single day. You can't let people let you get down. Like, if somebody's going to tell you you can't do it, you can't let that get to you. You got to use that to motivate you. So that's what I try to do.
So do you work out every day?
Yes.
Really?
I mean, there's exceptions, like if I'm sick or if like something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I will make time for the
have
gym. I'll make time for it every day.
You have like a 7-day-a-week schedule.
No, most weekends I won't work out. I'll work out 5 days a week. Sometimes I'll go 6. Sometimes I'll even go 7 if I'm going to do cardio. But I know that you got to give your body some rest. So if I'm going to work out 6 or 7 days, it's going to be something very light. Maybe like a home ab workout or going for a jog for a mile or two or something, just to get your blood flowing, just to get my mind, healthy. Because I feel if you sit around too much, your mind starts to get dull. You start to get annoyed easily at things. You lose a sense of life, I feel. So I think it's really important to just get your blood flowing through your head and stay active.
Definitely, man. Okay, that's awesome. So yeah, you've been pretty much just working, like grinding for pretty much 3 years now then.
3.5 years, yeah.
3.5 years. That's awesome. I actually, man, this is weird. We have a lot in common. I was kind of in the same situation. I played football like my whole life, and I don't know, what position do you play? If I had to guess, I'm going to say running back, I have a feeling.
No, dude. I was really skinny and I was decently tall, like 5'11". So I was a wide receiver, but then I switched to DB.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, looking at you now, I was gonna guess running back or linebacker, but gotcha, right. Yeah, so I'm 6'3". I weighed 150 pounds my first year of high school.
6'3", 150?
6'3", 150.
Dude, I was 5'10", 150, and I was skinny.
Dude, I was playing linebacker. So take that for what it is. I was like getting tossed around. I remember a guy on the team, Derek Nogler, was just like your classic football stud, linebacker, captain of the football team, huge, just ridiculously strong guy. And he wouldn't even go half out on me because I was just so frail. And I played my first year, and that season I gained like 15 pounds. I think some of that was just growth. So maybe I'd say I was like 6'2" at that point, because I gained like 15 pounds that football season. Definitely some was muscle. Some might have been, I don't even know if that would be fat because you're running every day. But I gained 15 pounds. And then that off season, like I said, all right, I need to get myself together because I can't be playing football at this weight. Like I'm not gonna last. So that whole off season, I started working out really hard, and I gained 20 pounds. And again, I'm not saying this is completely in muscle because that is probably impossible to do. But anyways, I gained 20 pounds somewhere. I grew a lot of strength, got up to 185 for my.
Now you're talking a little bit, man.
Yeah.
For a high school football player, 6'2", 185 isn't bad.
It's pretty good. Yeah. So that year, I didn't start, and I was so upset because I knew two of the guys who were starting linebackers, and we have a little bit different. Canada football is a little bit different. We have 3 linebackers. Two of the guys I knew, they worked out like really hard, but the third guy was just one of those guys who's just kind of naturally fit, really lazy, and I knew he didn't work out a lot, and it irked me so hard because I worked out the whole year, and he just kind of got on naturally. He was a year older than me, had that much more growth. I said, whatever, I'm just gonna keep going at it. And our first game, I got put in towards the end, and I played so well. On the spot, the coach said, "You're starting now."
That's
So
awesome, dude.
that was
That
a
doesn't
great.
happen often either.
It doesn't.
No.
So that was an awesome feeling. I got put in weak side linebacker, and I played the rest of the season at that position. That was awesome. So then by the end of that season, I kind of lost weight because you're running around every day. You're gonna lose weight. I was down to 180. I said, all right, this is my year. I gotta do this up again. So
At this time, are you a sophomore, junior, going into your
okay,
senior year?
so yeah, Canada's a little bit different. We have 3 years of high school. So I guess like great. Yeah, 3 years. So cut out like what would be freshman, I think you guys call it. So there's just the sophomore, junior, senior.
Right. So you were going into your final year.
So I'm going into my final year as a senior. So again, I just same kind of thing I did the first year. I just like, all right, I gotta hit the gym. Lots of deadlifts, lots of squats, all that stuff. And I ended up getting up to 195 at my peak going into that season. And I ended up being starting linebacker captain on the team. So
Dude,
that
that's
was
awesome. What?
yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, I went from being like literally just the most scrawny, nothing guy to gaining 45 pounds in 2 years and being a captain. So it was a good feeling.
Dude, that's fantastic. That's one thing in my high school career because I never started. I was never a starter, and I always look back at it and I say, you know what? If I didn't spend so much time playing Call of Duty and I spent more time working out, going into the weight room, working on my footwork, my agility, my conditioning, I would have been a captain. I would have been a starter because I wanted it bad enough. But at the time, Call of Duty was what I wanted more, so I never put any effort to football. And it irked me the fact that I didn't play. And I knew I didn't deserve to because I didn't put the time in, but in an alternate universe, or if I could go back in time and if I could live a different life and do that, I would do exactly what you did. Like that is awesome, dude. Good
Yeah.
for you.
It was funny because everyone takes like weight gainer and all that stuff, and I said, screw that. I'm not like I mean, I'm not like against like protein and creatine and all that kind of stuff, but I just like weight gainer. I'm not about this. So what I did for like those 2 years is every single day I drank 2 liters of whole milk.
Dude, that's good. That's a good thing to do.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, that's disgusting, and I can't believe you do that. But hey, it's the only thing that worked. I was always that skinny guy. I could never gain weight. 2 liters of whole milk every day. Eat whatever you want. Eat McDonald's. Like that's what I did pretty much. I ate like crap, but the point was eat a lot of calories, get a lot of protein, and it worked for me.
Dude, everyone's different. You just got to find what works for you. So if that might not work for somebody else, maybe someone else needs to have the weight gain, or maybe someone else has to eat healthy, but you
Yeah.
just got to find out, try different things and see what's the best for you. So if drinking 2 gallons, 2 liters of milk every day and eating McDonald's hamburgers every day is what's going to work, then so be it.
Yeah, exactly. So what's your like workout week like now? Just curious to
Like
see
my
what you
split?
do. Yeah.
So usually I try to change it up every week. Usually at the end of the week I'll do arms though, but I'll do legs in the middle of the week, like on a Wednesday, and then sometimes I'll do back on Monday, then chest, and then sometimes I'll do chest on Monday, then back. Sometimes I'll do shoulders on Monday, but usually the beginning of the week is a big body part, either chest, back, or shoulders, and then depending on that, it'll change going down the week. But it will always be legs in the middle of the week just because I don't like putting legs at the end of the week when I'm really tired. But I also don't like putting it in the beginning. But at the same time, when you do legs in the beginning of the week, apparently it's the biggest muscle in your body. So if you do it, it's going to release some sort of endorphins that makes other muscles feed off of it more. So I heard it was really good to do legs in the beginning of the week, but I decided to do it in
I've
the
heard
middle.
that as well.
I used to actually do it for a couple of months. Like a year and a half ago, I used to do it for a few months every day. It would be legs on Monday. But now for the past year, it's been chest, shoulders, or back on Monday. And then I just go down the list from there, Monday to Friday. Sometimes occasionally on a Saturday, I'd work out, do a couple of cardio and abs, and then I'd call it a week. And then I'd go back to the same thing the following week.
Yeah, see, like that's so awesome to hear because people think it's this crazy schedule that you got to do. But I mean, that's just, your basic kind of split is just this muscle group this day, this day.
You know what's funny? I didn't even know
whatever.
what a split meant until like 6 months after I started working out. I have a friend, one of my best friends, his name's Dan. He has a little brother who's 16 who is going to be a senior or junior in high school. And he asked me all these crazy questions. Doug, how many macros do you have? Doug, what's your split? Doug, what do you do for this? And he's asking questions that I didn't even think about when I was his age. And I just think the most important thing for anyone who's new to going into the gym or new to working out is just use Google. Google is your friend. Go on the internet, ask any questions you have on the internet. But most importantly, get into the gym and experience it for yourself. Watch other people around you, see what works for you, see what doesn't work for you, and then learn off of that. I think that's the best way of learning how to get into shape and learning how to use certain machines.
That's the problem is people get into it, and at the start, it's people like they're scared to learn. They're scared to ask the biggest guy in the gym, "What are you doing?" But that's the guy you want to ask because he knows, he's been there. He knows what he's doing.
People don't want to start because they're afraid of failure, but
absolutely.
Anyone who's ever been great has always failed. Anyone who's ever been great was always small. Like for you, you were the captain of the football team your senior year. If you never told me that, I would just think you were that small guy on the team, like you said. But you decided to put in the work and the effort to be the best you could be. You know, Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. He went on to be the best basketball player of all time. So you can't be afraid to fail. That's like the most important thing. You're probably gonna fail. You're probably gonna get embarrassed. But you need to be comfortable with that. You need to be accepting of it. You need to think when you're failing and when you're being embarrassed that you're gonna use this as a learning lesson. And you're going to show people that are, making you feel embarrassed that you're going to take that and you're going to learn from it. And that's what you got to apply to anything that you do.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. That, like I said, back to it at the end of the day, it all just comes down to hard work. There's luck, there's everything, but the one thing that you can affect is how hard you're going to work. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking for other questions I had. Okay. This was the last thing I wanted to ask you because I just saw this on your channel. I thought this was crazy. You were on a TV show.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Which one? There was a few. There was Good Day New York, Good Morning America, and then Mexican TV. Monterey.
Oh, what? You've been on Good Morning America?
Yeah. It was like a 10-second clip of them talking about Gfuel, but I wasn't actually on the live show.
Okay, that's still awesome though.
But for live TV, it was Good Day New York, and then it was Mexican TV, Monterey.
I saw this, this Mexican TV show. I guess we'll wrap the show up with that. Can you talk about that?
Well, the reason that happened was because I met a girl online. My buddy, in a late night Skype call after we played some Call of Duty, linked me this clip of a girl giving the weather, and I was infatuated with her. I made a YouTube video about it, talking about the girl. And it turns out that I said in my YouTube video, if she says that I could fly out to Mexico and meet her, you bet your ass I'm going to buy a plane ticket and do it. I found out what her Twitter was. I got her to follow me. We started talking. I asked her if she spoke English. She said no. She asked me if I spoke Spanish. I said no. After we talked for a day, I said, hey, could I come out there and could I meet you? And she told me yes. And then she works on a TV station. I went out there and I met her. And since I had a pretty big following through gaming, her TV station was intrigued by it. They were curious about what I did. And, it was a huge story. It was a pretty big deal. And then when I got there and I took pictures with her, the very next day she started to go viral on the internet. And then I went on the show with her because she worked there, and just one thing led to another, and that's basically what happened.
Damn, that is so crazy. I saw you and I was just like, how did he land this?
It's just luck, man. I mean, she really didn't have a big following at all. If I was to, contact her a few days later, maybe she would have went viral on the internet. Maybe she wouldn't have. I don't know. But the fact that she worked on the TV station and she said that I could come out to Mexico, and she told her coworkers about me, that's the reason why I got on through her.
Gotcha. Okay, that's really cool. Yeah, I was just curious about that. Well, that's been an hour, dude. So thank you so much for coming on. This has been a very powerful talk, especially for someone like I hardly even know, but I feel like I know you really well now. So this has been awesome, man. Yeah,
it's my pleasure, dude. I mean, I only know you for about an hour and 10 minutes now, but it was cool to be on the show with you.
Yeah,
I had a lot of fun.
So if you want to pimp your channel, Twitter, whatever, absolutely go for it.
No, it's fine, dude. I just want to, be on the show and help you out. I don't really have a problem with it, All
right. Well, if you guys want to check them out, there'll be a link down in the description. Go follow them, Twitter, subscribe, all that good stuff. Anyways, that has been SmithSquad Podcast episode 60. See you guys next week. Thank you for watching.